Professor Lessig, che cosa racconterà dell'Italia negli Stati Uniti dopo questa giornata?
So, the first thing I'm going to say is that the Italians are too hard on themselves. There has not yet been in the United States Congress a meeting such as this or the series of lectures that you have had such as this. It has not yet been the case that members of Congress have taken these issues as seriously as this House has. That is a reason to be proud of the attention that the country is paying to these issues. That's not to say that the country is getting every issue right, and it's not for me to say every issue the country gets wrong, but I am more encouraged by the kind of debate that happens here than I am encouraged in my own country right now, and I think you should be encouraged as well. Number two, we should never accept being forced to answer by the European Union or anybody the wrong questions. If the European Union is forcing you to answer the wrong questions, you should force the European Union to ask the right questions. There's nothing in the laws of nature, that forces us to think of the internet in exactly the technologically neutral way that we think about broadcasting. If you thought about them in the same way, that would not be neutral because you would kill the vast majority of the kind of activity that we want to see on this network. And we can't just assume as a matter of logic that technology is capable of doing anything that any politician can imagine in his head it ought to do. It is not the case that the technology is capable of distinguishing between insults and jokes. That's not within the capacity of any technology, and any rule that assumes that it is a rule that doesn't understand the technology. And finally, I'm most encouraged by the number of points during the course of the afternoon when my suggestion that we think about the generation gap here has been echoed by others. The suggestion that we include a wider consultation from what others have called the digital natives, I think is fantastic and important. But I think that the lesson I bring you from the United States about the anger and frustration that is spreading through our democracy, that gets represented in the extreme right by the Tea Party and by the left by the fanatical frustration with what this administration has not done. That anger also has a component that's tied to this virtual world as well, and to the youth of this virtual world. And this virtual world will not respond with respect to your democracy or our democracy until they see real changes, until they see real understanding of the particular ways in which this network has to be respected. So I would urge you to take seriously the anger and recognize that the presumption of democracy which you have and you want to pass to the next generation is not a presumption that takes care of itself. It only is nourished and encouraged if these moments of frustration get answered with responses that the listener, the generation that is the internet, respects as responses. I'm grateful that you would give me this opportunity and that you would engage in this conversation in the way that you have, openly, across the internet, freely, without me registering my computer in order to get access to Wi-Fi. Thank you very much.